Hello and welcome to the web series Straight Outta Gallifrey. This is brought to you by WoodlandsOnline.com. This is an affiliation of the Kingdom of Geekdom, and I'm Ashford. So again, I keep bringing this up. Those who want to go back and do that pilgrimage, and then like many of us Whovians that have gone back, we don't really mind listening to other podcasts, watching other YouTubers talk about these episodes, because what's interesting about Doctor Who is not just one way to watch it. It's not one way to experience it. You can cosplay it. You can read the comics. You can read the novelizations. You can do knitting. You can do arts and crafts. Maybe you might be into, making memes. But you can enjoy Doctor Who in all type of media. And one thing you can do is you can watch it however you like. Maybe you just like David Tennant. You just want to watch David Tennant episodes. Maybe you started with Rose like I did. And when you were caught up with the series, you're like, I want more Doctor Who. And you're just like, oh, you know what? The heck with it. I'm going to go back and watch some Doctor Who episodes. And like some of us who have to be completists, you might have gone through that journey. But some of you that might be thinking like, okay, I don't have that much time and this show is over 50 years old. It's so much content. Just throw some stuff at me. So that's where you're going to come here, where I'm going to focus on those Doctor Who episodes that feature other Time Lords and Time Ladies. Now, just to give you a little Doctor Who history, if you don't know this, there were some episodes back in the day, we're talking the 1960s, where they were taped over or destroyed, so we don't have those episodes anymore. Now, some fans, they would do things like hook up wires to their antenna, so they can get direct audio and record it. Some folks were recording off the television, and also with the telesnaps, there were times on set, photographers were taking pictures. So you can watch these things called, reconstructions, where you can listen to the audio and they flash some screenshots, and you can enjoy that story that way. So right now I'm going to talk about The Daleks Master Plan by Terry Nation and Dennis Spooner. And this is an interesting one. Like I mentioned before, back then, these stories were told in serial format. So maybe, one season might have, let's say, 6 4-episode stories. Well, imagine this, guys. With the Daleks Master Plan, this is a 12-part story. Guys, today, there are some Netflix shows that don't even have 12 episodes. So just imagine within one season, there's a 12-part story. So that's rather all-encompassing. That's a lot to chew on. And unfortunately, we don't have these episodes in completion. I believe there's 2 episodes where you can watch full video. The rest telesnaps, cartoon reconstructions. Also, you can read novelizations of this. But I find this one interesting, and I won't go into all of it, but just some things that might tickle your fancy, because you're like, okay, Ashford, I'm already taking a gamble or really investing time by going back and watching classic Doctor Who. Now you're telling me to watch this episode that don't really exist? Well, let me just give you some things that's going on in this. One, it's during the year 4000 AD, the year of our Lord, translated from Latin. And like I mentioned before, Dennis Spooner, Terry Nation brought this to us. And these are some things that I think is interesting about this Daleks Master Plan. 1, the title is awesome. 2, Daleks are involved. And this is a situation where usually up to this point when Daleks would show up, they were just wreaking havoc. In this one, we get to see them being conniving when they're going up against Mac Chin. All right, and they're doing a situation where they're trying to create this apparatus where they're actually going to use it to take over the universe. And usually we always hear about, we're going to be the baddest in the galaxy. Even Darth Vader, he's saying just the galaxy. He's not even venturing off and saying the whole universe. Because just like the 8th Doctor mentioned in an audio play, when you take over the universe, it's really bad for the real estate, because since you own everything, the value goes down. But I don't know. So anyway, check this out, guys. It's 12 episodes, and this is an episode or a serial where they just got this companion, Katerina. She's from ancient Greece. She goes inside the TARDIS. She thinks it's a temple. I don't blame her. Now, what's interesting about this character is when there's a situation that happens, they open up an airlock or whatever, and she's sucked out into space and she dies. And that's quite interesting because up until this point, you're kind of under the impression, well, as long as they're with the doctor, they're safe. I mean, come on, that's going to happen. And all of a sudden, we get the first on-air television episode of a companion dying. You know, just think about it. If you're 8, maybe this is the first time you've really experienced death, where there is no more. So now we know, okay, traveling with the doctor, there's a risk. There's high stakes. And they really don't have time to mourn because some of you know the show, when something sad happens, they really don't have time to think about it because they're on to the next thing. And then we have a character named Brett Vaughn, played by Nicholas Courtney. Many of you know him as Lethbridge Stewart, the Brigadier. And he's virtually interacted with almost every on-screen doctor, save for Peter Capaldi and, of course, the 13th Doctor coming up. All right, so Jodie Whittaker. But Nicholas Courtney, he's not playing the Lethbridge Stewart. He's playing Brett Vaughn. No mustache in this one. And, you know, he's like this, this space hero. Seems cool. And there's another character played by Jean Marsh. And I think she's ultra cool. This is one of those, there's been some missing episodes that's been recovered. And this is one that I hope is recovered because I would like to see Jean Marsh, who plays Sarah Kingdom. That name rocks. The only thing that's sad about it is that it's Sarah without an H. No judging. But she's awesome in this, if you will. She's swashbuckling, kind of Buck Rogers space, guns toting. It's just fun stuff. And this is one where, she dies in it. Nicholas Courtney's character dies in it. And that's not really a spoiler. It's about the journey. It's not really about the end. But there was a Dalek movie that they were going to make, and they were thinking about bringing Sarah Kingdom back to play in that. And that would have been neat, but it didn't happen. So, yeah, I would highly suggest maybe reading the novelization, sitting there hoping that this comes back to us, or like watching the telesnaps. It's still interesting storytelling. So go back and watch that, The Daleks Master Plan. All right, I'm Ashford. This is brought to you by woodlandsonline.com, affiliation with Kingdom Geekdom. You can listen to me talk about this particular serial en masse at rightonnetwork.com, or you can go to Apple Podcasts and type in Straight Outta Gallifrey to listen to me talk about this Daleks Master Plan. And you can subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, write a review, and help people find us. So until next time, guys, cheers.